Welcome everyone to Live from NCCE. We're doing crazy back-to-back episodes this month because next month is the big NCCE 2026 conference, and Magic School, who are our guests today, as a tier 2 sponsor, and we're thrilled to have Natalie with us, Natalie Hanna from Magic School and Amy Holiday from Lake Washington School District, and they're going to teach us all about, like, a showcase really is a better word, about all the amazing things that Magic School can do for you educators to make your life easier, more efficient, and bring some creativity and life to your classroom. So ladies, tell us about Magic School.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us, Tammy. Hey, everybody. My name is Natalie, and I am coming to you from Washington State. Amy and I are both coming to you from Washington State. I am a former pre-K, kindergarten, and second grade teacher, and I now have the pleasure of working at Magic School. I've gotten to partner with Amy for about the last year, and I get to support all of our schools and districts in the Pacific Northwest and West Coast. So I'm excited to be here from that corner today and sharing a little bit more about Magic School with Amy.
I'm Amy Holiday. I'm in the Lake Washington School District. My role now is Digital Application Instructional Alignment Specialist, which is a really long way to say that I support teachers with their technology, particularly student data privacy, which I'll talk about briefly when we introduce Magic School today. And my previous experience was on the other end of the elementary spectrum. I taught 4th and 5th grade primarily for 8 years in our district before hopping over to this role.
Amazing. Yay. So just to give you a little preview of what Amy and I are hoping to share with you all today, we are going to be giving you a little sampler platter. I know we only have a short amount of time, so we want to give you the high level 40,000 foot, what is Magic School? Why might you use it? And then we're going to give you some really practical use cases. Amy's going to share what's been really resonating in Lake Washington School District so that you can try it out yourself. And then we will definitely make sure to save a little time for Q&A. We would love to hear from you all live. So a little backstory about Magic School. Magic School was founded 2 years ago by an award-winning principal in Denver, Adil Khan. He saw AI coming on the scene and saw the potential of what it could mean for teachers to make this a sustainable career and something that we can really use to streamline our workflows, but then also really deeply personalize learning for kiddos. And so the magic of Magic School is really in teachers. That's our motto, teachers are magic, but being able to leverage and utilize AI. So how we are built is we have partnerships with all of the frontier large language models. So you're seeing that there on the bottom right corner. OpenAI, that's ChatGPT, Anthropic, Claude, Gemini, Adobe. But when you use Magic School, your data is safe and secure and protected. So our partnerships are such that they cannot use your data. They can't sell it, share it. They can't even use it to train the models. So we are the safest possible platform to use. 93% is the highest rating you can get. So you know that you can use this platform with confidence, and you'll have outputs that are designed for a K-12 setting. We're really purpose-built for education. And so what does that mean? What does that look like? That means that you have a chat bot that is designed for K-12 education. So you can turn to, we call her Raina. That's our nickname for her. So you can turn to Raina and have a conversation. You can ask questions. You can upload a document. You can research best practices. You can generate lesson materials, unit plans, rubrics, small group exercises. You can do that all within the chatbot of Raina, and then you can go back and revisit your threads so that you can pick up where you left off. In addition to Raina, we also have over 90 tools that are designed just for educators. And so really our team of educators has done the work behind finessing and perfecting the prompts so that you can just quickly go in, put your grade level, put what you're interested in doing, maybe put the interests of the students that you're working with, and boom, all of a sudden you have aligned materials and ideas to use with students. Now, we do always say human in, human out. So you're going to want to use the 80-20% rule. 80%, let's let Magic School and AI do the heavy lifting, but then you are always going to go through yourself and make further customizations, modifications, because again, teachers are magic. Teachers are the magic behind it all. In addition to your own practice and what you might use to help with your instructional planning, we also have Magic Student. So this is a safe place for kiddos to build their AI literacy and AI fluency and be exposed to AI in a safe place with guardrails in place, because we know they're going to need to use AI in this brand new world order that we're living in now with AI on the scene. But it's also a way for them to really get, as I mentioned, deeply personalized, tailored learning that is going to address their unique needs, their unique interests. So you're seeing some ideas here, being able to practice skills with interactive exercises and quizzes, ways to gamify their learning, ways to get help with homework, ways to have things translated for them, practice with tests and review materials, and be able to get some feedback before going into an exam or turning in a final kind of capstone project. So that just gives you a little idea of what Magic School is, why you might use it. But now I'm going to turn it over to Amy so that you can hear directly from her and what's been working in Lake Washington, so you can get some really tangible ideas of what you might try.
Awesome. Thanks, Natalie. That was a great intro to the background of Magic School and the intentional way it was developed with really teachers and students in mind. In our school district in Lake Washington, we were kind of exploring AI possibilities in the 23-24 school year when, OpenAI dropped a bomb and it was like, here's this thing that's now accessible. Let's learn about it. And we were able to connect with Magic School and started a pilot in the spring. So early spring 2024, we were kind of like, okay, we're ready to try something and make something that's available. And Magic School was kind of checking all the boxes for us, but we were like, we really got to dig in and see if it's going to work for our learners. Our school district is large in Washington State. We are, I think, the second largest school district behind Seattle. We have about 30,000 kids, 2,500 teachers. So we wanted something, if we could find it, that was going to work K-12 across the board. And often there isn't something that works K-12 across the board. But we found out that Magic School is doing a lot for all of our users. So when we were piloting, we kind of just turned it on. We made it available to all staff. I think Magic Student kind of started to be available towards the tail end of our pilot. So initially it was just available to staff to start tinkering around with. And I'm guessing that people can resonate with a challenge that we have in our district, which is getting time with teachers to be able to lead professional learning of any kind. And so we had like opt-in minimal little nuggets where like we bring teachers to us and it was all via Teams, and we would do like 30 minutes. Here's a brief intro. And it was all opt-in. Like nobody was required to do anything. No one was required to use anything. It was just people that were interested came. But there was a real nice grassroots operation that came out of that. So we led a couple sessions in the spring. Teachers kind of had free reign to try it. And then at the end, we sent out a survey. And we were just trying to collect information about the pilot to determine whether or not this was going to be something that was going to meet the needs of our teachers and our students. And if it was worth investing in as enterprise members for the following school year. And we received unexpected responses. And we thought teachers were going to say, yeah, it's great. We like using it. It's, it helps me with things. I'm learning how to prompt. But we had a tremendous response from specific groups of teachers, particularly our resource teachers, our teachers working with our most vulnerable students. So this is just a quote that we had from one teacher. This is one of the greatest and easiest tools I have ever used. The possibilities are infinite, and I feel like it can make anything as long as I give the directions properly. And this is like an early iteration of Magic School tool before more and more tools have been layered on that can get really deep into the types of prompts that teachers might have. So that I read that, and then I read like 50 more things exactly like that, which was really just making it pretty clear to our district that this is something that's meeting needs. So our top users during the pilot turned out to be our SPED teachers, our multilingual teachers, or our ML to ML teachers, and then Safety Net, which is a program in our district that is there to support students that are struggling in reading and or math, and occupational therapists. Often when we're releasing technology, digital tools, these are not the populations that immediately dive right in. And so it was so noticeable that we had so many of these teachers saying, this is making an impact. The top tools that were used during this pilot were student support. So teachers were looking for ways to support their students, specifically providing not PII about students, but just what these students' needs are, and then getting some great responses and ideas. So text rewriter, I love this one because a lot of our teachers are finding ways to make content relevant to their kids by having it rewrite, maybe changing the reading level, but then also incorporating like, this student loves cars. So they're rewriting a story, they're getting to the same targets, but they're adding some interesting things about cars. That kid is just going bananas for it. Social stories, which is great. Sometimes it's really hard to come up with ways to talk about conflict with students in a way that feels approachable. And then choice board, that was a big one too, providing choice boards. So then we had our pilot, we got our responses. We were like, okay, this is meeting a need. And in our district, this was just on the cusp of us switching into an inclusion model where students were being served in their classroom environment more time than they previously were. We used to be pulling students out more. Now they were in their classroom. We had classroom teachers now that were going, I need support on how to meet all of these diverse needs in my classroom. We were thinking Magic School could help. So the first year, 24-25 was our first year as enterprise partners. And my team had the opportunity to lead, again, opt-in professional learning. There was no mandatory professional learning, but we did create 3 sessions, which Tammy will share, I think, after this presentation. But 3 specific sessions, 1 hour after school, the teachers could opt into and get a clock hour to go to. And one was just an intro. And then we did one specifically on supporting student needs, diverse student needs with Magic School. And then we finally created one on using Magic School with students. Another piece of feedback we got from teachers, I'm so grateful for this tool. The student work feedback tool has been so helpful for giving quick pointers for students in the middle of their writing process. I taught 4th and 5th graders, and I taught highly capable 4th and 5th graders. These kids were prolific in their writing, and they wanted feedback. And so I can very much resonate with the challenges that come with having so much writing that you need to provide feedback on to support each student individually through the writing process. And Magic School is not replacing that, but it's giving students the space to get feedback in real time as they're going through the process so that when they submit their final copy, Magic School hasn't written it for the student, but it's been able to give them feedback in relation to a rubric that perhaps their teacher has provided that then supports that student growing to their final product. This teacher said it truly has saved me hours of work each week. And it's not hard to believe. Right now, the trends that we're seeing, this one's kind of interesting. We always see now for the last 2 years, the top 2 months of usage have been October. So like right after the school year starts, and then January. The October one, I'm not quite certain on, except that I'm thinking that like September, maybe it's just too much to introduce another thing. And then teachers are like, okay, now we can get in. But January makes a lot of sense to me because January is when we have the end of semester. Towards the end of January, teachers are providing workspaces for students to go into Magic School and have like test prep and support, writing feedback, project-based work. So January is huge. I'm already seeing our January numbers are beyond what they were in the previous January, and they're like close to just an average month, and we're only halfway through. So it's been pretty neat to see that trend. The categories just across the board K-12 that we're seeing used by teachers are instructional materials. So they're using Magic School to help them develop how they're going to teach a particular topic. It's not replacing curriculum, but it's supporting and bolstering and giving them ideas on how they might approach introducing it. Communication, which there's a bunch of teachers in this space, and that takes up a lot of teacher time. I very much enjoy running some things through Magic School when I am drafting an email, but I'm not sure if my tone is the appropriate tone or if I want to make sure that I haven't said anything, like I haven't been too redundant. I also will often ask Raina to help me reduce the number of exclamation points I use and emojis, because I use both of those a lot. And then the third category is student support. So teacher prep is kind of that first one, communication, which is like administrative work, and then like digging into the nitty gritty of how can I support my students in class. And these are all the top tool categories for teachers specifically in Magic School. So then we've started to also dabble in how is it that we can make Magic School available to students. What I love about Magic Student is that it is very much a safe space for students to interact with AI. When we see parent feedback or parent questions about AI, there's a lot of concern that is very valid about generative AI in general and access to it for kids. Magic School far and away has provided a very safe space that is not going to go down those negative alleyways that kids can sometimes get trapped into by these various tools that are available on the internet. So I feel entirely safe creating a space for students to go into. And also as a teacher, I can see every interaction that students are having, which is really helpful. So in introducing Magic School to students, teacher training is really, really key. Students can't access Magic School or Magic Student without teachers creating the space for them to do it. So it's very intentional, and teacher needs to intentionally provide access to a student. It's not just something kids can go to and kind of play around with. We've seen that middle school is the sweet spot. This is where our highest student room usage has been. We've seen some grade levels. One teacher will create like a student support space for maybe covering content for an upcoming assessment or a project. And that one teacher for the grade level will run all of it for their whole grade level if they're like a confident user of Magic School, which has been really neat to see. But far and away, middle school is like where it's at. In our highest usage test preparation rooms, in the student room spaces that teachers create, you can add multiple tools. You can add a ton. I don't even know if there's a limit, Natalie, but if you know that there's a limit to how many tools, I haven't found it yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah, teachers can add a whole bunch of different custom tools specific to a content area, an assessment, a rubric, whatever it is. And it can, we see that January is a big use for these test preparation rooms for sure. Kids can go into the room multiple times and interact with the same tool and kind of continue that thread, or they can generate a new conversation and be like, hey, I want to talk about this now. Let's go this direction.
And just jumping into that point about the number of tools in a room, you can also create multiple rooms. So if you have a room that with tools that are suited for a particular small group of students you're working with, you could do that. And then you could share a different room with other students based on their needs or interests.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I can see like on the admin level, I can see all of the rooms that are active and see like there's teachers that have a whole bunch because it's like every assignment, and then they'll leave it open intentionally so that kids can go back and continue like diving into a topic, which I think is pretty interesting. Writing feedback for students. There's also a writing feedback tool for teachers, but the student writing feedback tool is used a ton, a whole bunch. I love that teachers can upload the rubric or their like what's the word that I'm looking for? It's not like qualifications, but like the requirements of the assignment into the custom tool ahead of time, so that then that tool can support students with like, I see this part's missing. What can you tell me about this? And student room templates are the greatest of all time. So I actually was thinking that that would be something to demo, because if teachers are, I'm not sure where everyone is in this landscape, but this seems to be the biggest hesitation when using AI is teachers they want to learn about it a little bit more themselves before they feel comfortable introducing it to students. And that's totally valid. Absolutely understood. what I hope will help teachers bridge that gap is that this is a really safe space for teachers to try something with students in a way that's not going to cause harm to the kids and it's not going to cause harm to the teachers. So in Magic School, I think, Tammy, if this is something that we can share in the chat, it's just oh, there we go. It's on boom, magicschool.ai. If you type in magicschool.ai, you can follow along or you can just watch and join us at another time. But in Magic School, you'll have something that looks sort of like this, but maybe a little different because of, whatever your school district is doing. If I go to Magic Student on the left, and then I'm going to go down to resources. There are student room templates. And to me, this is like the sweet spot to dive into learning about Magic School and Magic Student, because these are all individual rooms that you can like copy the template of that have tools already built. And you can go in and edit any of the tools however you want to. You can delete tools and just have one in there if you want to. But this is just like, they've done the work for you, so you can just try. I really love that they have AI literacy and digital citizenship rooms. So I'm going to click this one just to check it out. Ooh, is this one going to let me join it? There we go. So I'm in as a student right now. This is super fun. Every student, when they enter a student room, is going to be given these criteria just to look through and assess and understand, like, yes, your teacher can see your activity. That's good for kids to know. And that AI is a tool, not a replacement for your thinking. I love that this happens every time because it's a good reminder and students need to click I acknowledge before they can get in. And then this shows you what the student view is going to be, where they can see all of the different tools that are available in this specific student room, AI literacy and digital citizenship. This is one that has a lot of tools in it. But what I intended to do was pull up one. I was going to go to more student room templates. These are like some intro tools, just a nice little, a Zen wellness space. That sounds like something I could use. But I'm going to go to more student room templates. And there's a nice little intro here with an overview. What is the template? Why use it? Who can use this? Great things. But I was scrolling through and playing with one recently. It was something for elementary. Oh, I like college and career prep. That's a great one. Different learning abilities. Ooh, maybe I want to do my Just Right reading tool. I'm going to click this one. And what this next page does is it introduces the student room so that you have kind of an idea of what you're getting into. So it does a little intro. Here's the template. I'll click that after I look through the description. This tells you the tools that are in the room. So if you're like, I don't want to be in a room that has a gajillion tools, I want to start off something simple for my students. This one looks great. It has a text leveler tool already built into it. It tells them that it enables students to take any text and put it on their reading level so they can empower themselves to access any text they are given. That's fantastic. So then if I click it, this then is giving me a template that I'll have in my space as a teacher that I can share with students. So I'm going to leave it and call it, I might call it template, my Just Right reading tool, room description, Magic School created. I don't know why I capitalized created. Template for finding a Just Right text. You can determine if you want to set a schedule. So if you are like, I only want students to access this during school today, and then I want it to automatically turn off, that's a great option. If it's something that's safe for them to keep going back to, that seems fine as well. And then require a single sign-on would depend on whether or not your students have logins or not. If you don't require a single sign-on, kids just type in their name ahead of time, and the only person who can see the name that students have typed in is you. So even if students choose to make a choice that is not accurate with their name, it enables you to have a conversation with them.
One more quick thing about the schedule for any secondary folks that we have on the call. You can have the room open and then you can pause it so that when your kiddos go on to their other rooms throughout the day, they can't still access it, but then you could turn it back on, to Amy's point, if you wanted to have that as an additional tool in their toolkit when they go home to be able to practice and do their homework or do practice prep.
Yeah. And I also really love that if you make it, like, let's say you're in secondary and you have a student room that's available and students are trying to go in to misuse your space because they have maybe a teacher that's not allowing AI to be used. AI is really good at redirecting that behavior too. So if a kid's like, hey, I have to do this math problem, blah, 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 it'll be like, I'm actually here to support you with reading. So do you want to talk about that? And Raina is great. She does
Yeah.
not deal. She's like,
100%.
nip this one in the bud. I appreciate that about her a lot. Okay, so I'm not going to click join URL right now because I want to understand it before I share it with my students. So I'm going to click X out of this. And then I'm in the template space. I'm going to click manage room. And what this does is it shows me there's just one tool in this room. Love that. I'm going to click it. And I can see now all of the back-end prompting that's happened, that like whoever created this student room, it might have been Magic School, it might have been one of their awesome ambassador rock stars. But this explains they're using this tool. This is kind of a description to help you know what it is you're getting into. You can identify, maybe you teach a different grade level. Maybe you teach 10th grade. And then these are instructions that the chat bot has, but they're not facing the student. So this has been trained to format, instantly adapt the given text to the specified grade level, maintain original key vocabulary and core concepts, format with appropriate headings. This looks great. I would never have thought of all of these things myself. So they've done a lot of the work for you. They've also created a student interaction protocol. One of the things I really love about these tools is that they train me on how to get better at prompting when I go through and read them. So I see all of this. This is fantastic. I'm learning new things about how to prompt. If I want it to have additional specific knowledge, I might even prepare it and incorporate like, hey, this is the text that they need to be reading. But I'm going to leave that right now. You can upload a file if you want to. You can create additional fields, see if there's other things you can do. The learning objective.
Yeah, the learning objective is really great. So you can get insights into how your kiddos are approaching, if they're approaching it, if they're demonstrating it. And to Amy's point, the whole idea is that you do not have to be a prompt engineer to be able to benefit from really sophisticated AI tools. And so that's why our team has done that work above, but then still left that opportunity for you to add that really personal context for your learners and your learning community, whether it's their interests, whether it's where you're geographically located. So you want the answers to pull in, relevant information in that way. That would be great things to put in those other specific topic areas, just so that you can make it, hyper personalized for your community of learners.
And there's even a prompt assistant that you can click to if you need some help with ideas of how you might prompt it, which is great. So let's just say I'm going with what they've already done. I'm not feeling fancy today. I just want to see what's going to happen. I'm going to click on this side. This is what the students will see. Start preview. And this is just giving me a sense of what the student experience is going to be. So, hi, I'll help you understand text better. Love that I can translate this, and I also can have it read aloud. Just share any text with me, either paste it here or attach a document, and I'll make it easier to read and understand while keeping all the important ideas and vocabulary. This would have been a great opportunity for me to have a text ready to just copy and paste. I'm not going to search for one right now. But then what the student would do is they could attach a document or they could copy and paste content, and it would then do exactly what we're asking it to do through all of these pieces of feedback that we already gave it. Follow grade level appropriate readability guidelines. Format with appropriate headings, which is super neat. And then the students have something that is tailored. Maybe they're in 10th grade, but they're reading at a 6th grade level. It's going to be able to do that work for them. And then once I'm ready, I'll hit save to room. And then I have a quick link that I can share with students. I just hit invite students, copy join URL, or you can, if you have Google Classroom, you can use that, or collect join codes. And you can just pull up a QR code. And then students are in, you'll see their names. And this, I can't show this necessarily because I don't have it prepared, but I do love that. Actually, I probably have some examples. In my rooms, you can see feedback. So we have done, let's see, here we go. We've done some testing. So none of these are actual students that are using this, but if I go to Insights, you get some feedback on how students are using the tools. And this is all like from, I don't know, November, December. So it might be old, but let's go to month update filter. And it gives you like some metrics, how it's used, what tool they were using. You can see if students were engaged or not engaged. You get, I was at the very top of the class, so I love that about this. But you can also see that students can come up with their own names, like 6, 7. That's, no one's tired of that yet. But student rooms, if you're going to take one little nugget, I would say try out the student room templates. That is a handy tool for you. And I know that we are right up to the minute, but if there's a 10-second lag, then you have 10 seconds to be thinking intentionally about a question you might have. And I think we have a little bit of time for Q&A until we get cut off.
Yeah, and we're here. We can stick around for a little bit for Q&A. I want to make sure to share this so that folks know where they can go to connect and get more information if folks do have to drop off. So Amy shared so many great ideas and has some of those personalized resources that she's made. Thank you, Amy. Our favorite teacher phrase, big borrow steal, don't reinvent the wheel. And you can find even more resources if you scan the QR code under Magic School Resources. And if you are really interested in becoming even more involved and part of a really exclusive, vibrant community that gets access to beta test things and give feedback and wonderful ideas from fantastic educators all over the country, consider being a part of our AI Pioneer program. And thank you so much for joining us today. And I can put this form link in the chat for 30 days free of Plus, but I'll leave these QR codes up so that you can access them.
Oh my gosh, we are such huge fans of Magic School AI. I'm one of the NCCE professional learning specialists, and I remember when we went to Butte, Montana for a whole day Magic School AI conference, and in one of my sessions, I had a middle school teacher. She taught shop, and she was sitting there like this, and she said, "This Magic School can't do anything for a shop teacher." And she was just really kind of ornery. And I said, I'll tell you what, this is a, hour and a half class. Give it one prompt, have it create it. Here's where you do lesson plans. Have it create a lesson plan, something you think it couldn't possibly do. And let's just see what it does. If you're not happy, then I promise you can just sit there and, whatever. Fine. So she typed something in that she thought was difficult. And when it popped up, she called me over and she said, I would have never taught it this way, but this is genius.
Oh, I love that.
And she played with it the whole time. So it's interesting because I find that Magic School just kind of sells itself, and it's just amazing how it just won her over so quickly. So kudos for putting it together. Yeah, it was a great experience that day. People are very excited online. They're talking about it's a safe place. They love that it's a safe place for learners and how to use AI. Human in, human out. I actually really love that. You're in Lake Washington, Amy, so I'm sure the
Human
state
AI,
superintendent schools, right? The AI must always begin with human questioning and then ending with human empowerment.
Yep.
So I love the human in, human out, because that's what it's all about. And I love that Magic School, as you were saying, Natalie, really helps you phrase the questions right? Because if we can get students to ask the right questions, then they're going to get the best answers.
Yep.
So there really weren't questions, just a lot of super fans, great tools. Safety aspect is amazing. Big thanks to you all. And thank you for the resources in Pioneer. And I've put some in the chat as well. We're just thrilled that you're a tier 2 sponsor at NCCE 2026, which is, thank you, February 25 to 27 in Seattle. Still time to register. So go to ncce.org/conference. Amy, any last words for our listeners?
I was just going to say, Natalie and I will both be there, and we'll both be talking about Magic School. So find sessions with either of our names, and we'll probably both be in each other's too.
That's right.
Oh, nice. So you both have sessions, right?
Yeah, I was going to make a plug for Amy's session. She is just a wealth of knowledge, and definitely check out Amy's session because you won't want to miss it. She's got really great ideas and really great insights.
Well,
I love it. Natalie. Yay. And that's really what it's all about. That's what's so powerful about the NCCE 2026 and Magic School is you brought a teacher in to show educators how it's used in a classroom. And it just is so practical for us and makes it so much easier. So thank you very much, Natalie and Amy and Magic School AI. We're super excited to see you. Oh my gosh. It's like a little over a month.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, everyone get out there and register. And in February, our Live from NCCE will be all about for first timers. We'll have Jason Neffer and Micah Gustinelli telling you everything you need to know to navigate NCCE 2026. So Amy and Natalie, Thank you so much for your time and your talent. Everyone else, see you next month.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.